The night in Texas was a cloak of darkness, sliced by lightning that illuminated the landscape for mere seconds. Nightwind felt the storm not only with his body, but with his very soul. Every thunderclap seemed to echo his long-suppressed freedom. Charles Anderson, the most powerful rancher in the region, had no idea that on that very night he would lose his greatest secret. The black stallion, once a symbol of his prestige, was now nothing more than another forgotten animal tucked away in the back of the barn. The rain hammered the dirt road, turning the ground into a slick mass. It was then that a careless oversight by worker Peter created the perfect opportunity. A section of the fence, poorly adjusted and nearly imperceptible in the darkness. Nightwind did not hesitate. With a leap that defied his reputation as a mistreated animal, he soared across the gap. His hooves struck the earth as if dancing a choreography of liberation. Mud splattered, and his muscles moved with a strength that seemed to have been stored up for years. The barking of dogs rang out quickly. Charles, awakened by the commotion, already knew Nightwind had escaped. "Find that horse!" he bellowed to his foreman. "No matter the cost." Far away, on the edge of a forgotten road, Ryan was wrapping up another day in his garage. A solitary mechanic, he bore scars from a past he desperately tried to forget. His brother had been killed in a land dispute, and since then he had chosen solitude as his only companion. The sound of galloping hooves made him step outside. Nightwind's silhouette was striking, black as the night, panting and drenched. His amber eyes shone with an intensity that went beyond mere animal instinct. Ryan sensed something different. This was no ordinary horse. He was a creature that carried a history within him. "Hey, partner," Ryan whispered. "It's all right." Nightwind did not retreat. There was something about this man that was different. The night was only just beginning, and fate was already laying down its first moves. If this story has caught your interest, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button, and let us know which city you're watching from. Stay tuned. Ryan's garage was a sanctuary of spare parts, tools, and memories. Still wary, Nightwind allowed the mechanic to examine him. It was then that something caught Ryan's attention, a horseshoe that looked different from the rest. "What's this all about?" Ryan murmured. Lucy, his friend and skilled hacker, didn't hesitate when she received a photo of the unusual horseshoe. Known for unraveling the most complex security systems, her eyes lit up as she realized that this was no ordinary object. "This is a storage device," she explained over the phone. "Someone has hidden something very important here." Back at the ranch, Charles Anderson had already mobilized his men. Foremen crisscrossed roads and neighboring ranches, interrogating anyone who might have seen the horse. Helen, a former employee of the rancher, watched from a distance. She knew too much to be just any ordinary worker. Her eyes held secrets that could change everything. When Lucy finally managed to decipher the contents of the device, Ryan's world came crashing down. Top-secret documents revealed an impressive network of corruption. Land grabbing, illegal cattle exports, and fraudulent agreements between politicians and business moguls were all laid bare, and Nightwind appeared to be the key to it all. "Why would they hide this in a horseshoe?" Ryan asked. That very night, Helen arrived at the garage. Her eyes were a mix of fear and determination. "Nightwind has always been different," she revealed. Charles treated him like a walking secret. In recent months, something changed completely. Richard, Ryan's biker friend, began to devise a plan. They needed to protect Nightwind and the evidence the stallion carried. But Charles already knew where to find them. The night in Texas was about to transform into a silent battleground, where one horse would become the key to unraveling the greatest secrets of the region. The first cars began to circle near the garage, watchful eyes, calculated movements. The hunt had begun. The sun was rising over Texas, painting the sky in shades of orange, when Ryan realized he was being followed. Unmarked vehicles passed discreetly, or their occupants fixated on the garage. "We need to move him," he told Richard. Nightwind seemed to understand every move. His amber eyes shone with an intelligence that was far beyond that of a common animal. When Ryan tried to load him onto a trailer, the stallion reacted in a way that was nothing short of astonishing. In a swift, precise movement, he veered off. the route Ryan had planned. It was as if he knew every inch of that road. "He's guiding us," Richard whispered, incredulous. Helen provided further details about Nightwind. For years, the stallion had been Charles Anderson's favorite. He had competed in important shows, considered an animal of inestimable value. But something had changed in the past few months. Charles started treating him like a nuisance, she revealed, as if Nightwind carried a secret he wanted to forget. Lucy continued to analyze the documents found in the horseshoe. Every piece of data unveiled a deeper layer of corruption, land grabbing, bribed politicians, and a scheme that involved the highest echelons of regional power. Suddenly, 2 cars closed in on the road. Men stepped out, clearly prepared to capture Nightwind. That was when the stallion did something extraordinary. Before Ryan could react, Nightwind took control. He swerved sharply, guiding the trailer onto a narrow trail between trees, a path the vehicles could not follow. "How does he know this route?" Richard asked. Helen's gaze turned distant. "Nightwind has always been different. He's not just a horse." The pursuit continued. Charles Anderson had ordered Nightwind's capture at any cost. The stallion was no longer merely an animal. He was the key to exposing one of the largest corruption schemes in the region. But what did the horse truly know? What secrets did his mysterious horseshoe hold? The truth was on the verge of being revealed. Tension was palpable inside Ryan's small garage. Lucy had managed to decode further layers of the documents embedded in Nightwind's horseshoe, revealing impressive connections between local politicians and Charles Anderson's operation. "This goes far beyond land grabbing," she said over the phone. "We're talking about a scheme involving illegal exports, money laundering, and even influence peddling." Richard kept watch outside on his motorcycle, ready for any emergency. Helen stayed close to Nightwind, observing every move the stallion made. That was when they discovered the traitor. Mark, one of the newest helpers at the garage, had been bought off by Charles. His intercepted phone calls, captured by Lucy, revealed every detail of Ryan's movements and the location of Nightwind. "We need to act fast," Richard warned. "Charles already knows where we are." That same night, Charles's plan was set in motion. His henchmen stormed the garage in a swift, calculated move. In the ensuing confrontation, Nightwind was captured and taken back to the ranch. Ryan was devastated. Something inside him told him that the horse was more than he appeared. Every movement of Nightwind, every reaction, hinted that he carried an important secret. Helen revealed more details. Charles had been treating Nightwind differently over the last few months. It was as if the horse was guarding something that could bring him down. Lucy continued to pore over the documents. Each piece of evidence uncovered another layer of corruption, illegal land seizures, bought-off politicians, and a scheme that reached into the highest circles of regional power. "We have to rescue Nightwind," Ryan insisted. "He is the key to everything." Richard gathered a group of bikers, longtime companions of Ryan. They all knew the story of his brother, who had been killed in a land dispute. This was their chance to seek justice. At the ranch, Charles Anderson believed he had won. Nightwind was back, and with him, the security of his darkest secrets. But he hadn't counted on the determination of those willing to do anything to uncover the truth. The final confrontation was imminent. The sun was rising over Charles Anderson's ranch, painting the fields in a rich golden hue that contrasted with the tension of the moment. Nightwind was locked up in one of the most secure stables, guarded by armed henchmen. Lucy was preparing the digital attack plan. Hacking the ranch's security systems would be crucial for the rescue. "I need some time," she told Ryan. "I'm going to create an electronic distraction that will shut down all the surveillance systems." Richard assembled his group of bikers, men and women who knew every inch of that region, ready to face any challenge. Helen brought vital information about the ranch's routine. She knew every entrance, every blind spot of the security cameras. "The morning shift changes at 6:30, she revealed. "That will be our moment." Ryan felt the weight of responsibility. Nightwind was not just a horse. He was the key to unraveling a corruption scheme that involved politicians, business tycoons, and illegal land grabbers. At the ranch, Charles believed he had triumphed. Nightwind was back, and with him silence regarding his darkest secrets. Lucy initiated the digital assault. Cameras began to fail, security systems collapsed. It was as if an invisible virus had taken over the entire electronic infrastructure of the ranch. Richard and his group surged forward. Motorcycles sliced through the fields like arrows, taking full advantage of the chaos Lucy's attack had created. The first clash was swift. Security guards were stunned by the simultaneous invasion and the failure of their systems. Ryan headed straight for the stable where Nightwind was held. His heart pounded, knowing that everything hinged on this moment. Charles, alerted by the commotion, burst out of his mansion. His eyes blazed with pure fury. "No one's going to take what's mine!" he roared. But something inside the stable was about to change everything. Nightwind was not just a bystander. Something greater awaited him. Chaos reigned over the ranch. Motorcycles tore across the fields. Lucy brought down security systems, and Ryan advanced toward the stable where Nightwind was confined. Charles was shouting orders, his guards scrambling in all directions, completely disoriented. When Ryan finally reached the stable, something extraordinary happened. Nightwind did not seem like a prisoner at all. He appeared to have been waiting for this very moment. The black stallion locked eyes with Ryan with an intensity that transcended mere animal comprehension. Helen, who accompanied them, suddenly had an insight. "The horseshoe," she shouted. "There's something more to the horseshoe." Lucy, still busy hacking the systems, managed to download confidential documents. Each file revealed deeper layers of corruption. Charles realized he was losing control. Something far bigger than a simple invasion was unfolding. Inside the stable, Nightwind began to move in a peculiar, calculated way, as if preparing for something. Suddenly, one document caught everyone's attention. A spreadsheet detailing million-dollar transactions, names of prominent politicians, and money laundering schemes. "This is going to destroy Charles," Richard exclaimed. The rancher tried to respond, but he was completely surrounded. His guards had been neutralized, his security systems compromised. Nightwind let out a neigh that resonated like a victory cry. That was when Helen revealed the final secret. The horse had been a silent witness to crimes that could bring down an entire network of corruption. "He always knew," she said. "That's why Charles wanted to get rid of him so badly." Ryan gazed into Nightwind's eyes. There was a connection between them that went beyond normal understanding. The stallion was not merely an animal. He was the guardian of a truth that would change everything. At the regional precinct, activity was in full swing. Documents were scattered, officers typed up reports, and journalists scrambled for the first angles of the story. Charles Anderson was arrested, his heavy handcuffs a symbol of his downfall and his defeated gaze saying it all. Lucy presented the digital evidence, a meticulous hacking effort that exposed every detail of the criminal scheme: fraudulent exports, illegal land seizures, and million-dollar bribes. "How did a horse guard all this information?" asked one detective, incredulous. Helen explained. Nightwind had been a silent witness for years. The special horseshoe embedded with a microchip for storage had safeguarded documents that could topple powerful politicians. Ryan embraced Nightwind. The once-abandoned stallion was now an unlikely hero. Richard organized a celebration to mark their victory. Bikers from across the region gathered to honor the moment. "Your brother would be proud," someone told Ryan. The documents revealed even more. The land dispute that had killed Ryan's brother was directly linked to Charles's scheme. Justice had finally arrived. Nightwind remained by Ryan's side, a silent guardian. 3 months later, life had changed completely for everyone involved. Ryan transformed part of Charles's former ranch into an animal protection center. Nightwind was the main attraction, receiving special treatment and veterinary care. Helen began working directly with the district attorney's office, helping to dismantle other criminal schemes in the region. Her courage had become an inspiration for many. Lucy established a digital security consulting firm, using the fame of the case to expand her business. Her services were now in high demand by major companies. Richard continued riding with his biker group, but now they also carried out social initiatives, bringing information and support to rural communities. Nightwind played a special role. He visited schools, shared his story through documentaries, and became a symbol of resistance and hope. The ranch, once a symbol of oppression, had transformed into a recovery center for animals and a training ground for young farmers. The legacy of a struggle had blossomed into hope. A year passed, and life seemed to have found a new balance. Ryan received an unexpected letter, a document that revealed details about his family's history, especially about the brother he had lost so many years ago. Helen helped with the investigation. They discovered that Ryan's brother had been close to exposing Charles's scheme before he was silenced. Nightwind, mysteriously, seemed to have safeguarded information that completed this story. Lucy managed to recover old files that connected various dots. The case was not only about Charles, it was about a generational network of corruption. Richard organized a meeting with families that had been harmed by the scheme. Together, they created an association to defend the rights of small farmers. Nightwind continued to be the symbol of this transformation. His amber eyes seemed to hold secrets of a story larger than anyone had yet imagined. A new chapter was about to be written. The ranch had now become a symbol of hope. Ryan looked at Nightwind, understanding that the horse had completely changed his life. A special ceremony was organized. Representatives from rural communities, journalists, and authorities all gathered to celebrate the tale of resistance that had begun with one horse and a mechanic. Helen revealed the final secret. She had uncovered documents proving that Ryan's brother was on the verge of exposing Charles's scheme before he was silenced. Nightwind had safeguarded the evidence all those years. Lucy premiered a complete documentary about the case. Every detail, every moment of the investigation was woven into a narrative that moved the entire country. Richard and his biker group created a fund to support small farmers, using the compensation from the case against Charles. Nightwind was awarded a Medal of Honor. The horse that was once abandoned was now a national hero. "Heroes don't always walk on two legs," declared the governor during the ceremony. Ryan embraced Nightwind, tears in his eyes, understanding that justice had arrived in a way he'd never imagined. The story of a black stallion who carried the truth had transformed lives, unveiled secrets, and proven that hope can come from the most unexpected places. If this story has caught your interest, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button, and let us know which city you're watching from. Stay tuned.